Hello, welcome to Something Newsy. I am your host, Sylvia, and today I am with Sonia and Layla. We'll be discussing immigration and customs enforcement, also known as ICE, the corruption, and how it is affecting students.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you. My name is Sonia.
Yeah, this is Layla. First thing I wanted to talk about is that ICE and the DHS has been in the news quite frequently ever since Trump's re-election. And most often the things that we see are the most bombastic, the biggest protests, the clashing lines, people getting shot at by rubber bullets in the street. But what we don't see a lot is the sort of subtle changes in their enforcement and how they act outside of these big protests and these big moments. For example, in California, as of January, nearly 5,000 people in San Diego County were arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. There have been some protests around San Diego County that we've seen, but the movement and activity of ICE, at least in San Diego County, has been a lot more subdued, I feel like. But it's still important to notice that.
Yeah. Have you guys seen ICE around?
I personally have. It's definitely more prominent in certain areas, especially lower class areas, and they're definitely targeting certain areas.
There's been quotas that have been set. There's been, increased presence at the border. There's so much going on all the time that it feels like it's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah.
But something that comes with that is this sort of fear and a uncertainty that immigrant populations sort of feel when this presence increases. And that absolutely has an effect on our campus, right? Because many students here are immigrants, documented or undocumented, and being afraid that you're going to walk onto campus and there's going to be somebody at the door waiting to take you away, even if it's not realistic for everyone, it's something that, can sit in the back of your mind and really affect your schooling.
Yeah.
And I know we have students here also who do live in Mexico and do travel. So I bet you the fear is even greater in them. And it's unfortunate because everybody should feel safe getting their education. But at times like these, they don't feel safe.
Yeah, but I think that our school they're doing a pretty good job of letting students know what to do. I know the other day, the student government president, he was saying that they're giving out these cards that students can hold so that if they ever came across ICE, they would know what to do.
Yeah, it's absolutely important to know your rights in that kind of situation. Yeah, a lot of the time, unless ICE has a specific warrant or the piece of paperwork that they can show you, you have very little obligations to tell them about yourself or any of your classmates or any of the faculty.
Yeah.
So it's important to realize that, and it's important to know that information.
Yeah. If you ever came across ICE, you shouldn't feel pressured by them, and you don't have to tell them what your status is.
Another thing that I know puts fear into people is the Christy Gnome ads that are placed everywhere. Spotify,
oh yeah,
YouTube, on TV. It is crazy.
Every screen you have. Basically.
Yeah,
everywhere. I'm sure you've seen them.
And yeah, to add off of that, it's there have been ads and public releases and presses and stuff from, the DHS for a while, right? But it feels like under the Trump administration, they are more emboldened and they reflect in these ads because they have an air of, at least me personally, when I watch them, I feel like it's almost spiteful. It feels very emotional how they talk about immigration and how reverent they are to Trump in regards to allowing them to do these things to these people. And it's the word I would use to describe them is kind of ghoulish.
Yeah, I definitely feel that although they say that they want to protect American citizens, it feels like that's not their true motive and that they're not actually looking to protect people.
Yeah. The majority of ICE arrests since Trump's reelection, the majority of the arrests have been people with no prior criminal record,
Mm.
right? Because a lot of the times the idea that the people that ICE are arresting are criminals and they're bad people or they're taking in drugs into our country or this and that, it is reflective of a certain, population of immigrants, right? But
Yeah.
that is not applicable to the entire population.
Yeah.
It's the little amount of convicted criminals that they do arrest is used as justification for escalating their arrests, right?
Mm.
And it's just used primarily, it affects, innocent people more than it does people with criminal records or criminals.
Yeah. I think some of the kids too, like they're young children, but they also have this is like something real that they have to worry about, even though they're so much younger. Like they're just kids. They haven't even done anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've seen a few people, not everyone, but I've seen some people they are citizens, but they're getting deported to countries that they've never been to before, and it shouldn't be representative what ICE should be doing.
Yeah, there was that famous case with Kilmar Garcia. I think he's the one who was improperly deported, right? And that was famous, right? It was national news.
Yeah.
But that single case, is representative of a wider trend, right? Of disregarding court orders, disregarding instructions specifically about handling individuals. And it's reflective of the sort of true intentions behind the increased presence, where if they really did care about protecting citizens and people, then they wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
And you also have, the problematic treatments of people at detention centers. And recently, this month, ICE agents actually denied a U.S. senator and San Diego County supervisors from accessing an immigrant detention center.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's like no reason for them to be doing that, and I think some of the conditions too are a bit worrying because I think from what we've seen, they're packing a lot of people into the detention centers, and it's hard to keep track of all of them. And from the interviews, it's difficult for them to answer questions about who they're carrying.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as you said before, I feel like Mesa has been pretty appropriate in their response to ICE. If you go up and talk to professors, most likely they're going to tell you, yeah, they've been told what to say. If an ICE agent comes to their door, they've been told to, prioritize the safety of themselves and students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and teachers also warn students that ICE isn't allowed to be on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do see them, you should let a teacher or staff member know.
Absolutely. The best thing that you can do in situations where you are afraid or concerned that something might happen is absolutely inform the closest faculty or staff that you can.
Yeah.
And it is also important, though, to be knowledgeable and to be aware of your surroundings and your rights and the rights of your fellow students. Because there might be a time, heaven forbid, that officers show up on campus and they try to do something, they try to cause something, and the person that they're focusing on has no idea what's going on. And I believe it's your responsibility in some small way to be informed and to be able to help in whatever ways you can.
Yeah. Just keep an eye out for your fellow students and your classmates. Make sure that, everyone's staying safe. I think as a community, everyone should be sticking together and protecting each other.
Another thing that should be noted is thanks to the work of Daylight San Diego for reporting this. According to court records in San Diego, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement have a program called Operation Road Flare, which, as we understand, is currently being utilized to monitor activists who document the agency's, comings and goings. For sure, we've known that they've targeted Jean Wong, an activist, as well as Arturo Gonzalez, a influencer who has been filming encounters with ICE. So, although it is your constitutional right to speak up and to protest, it is also important to notice that these organizations, at a certain level, they are working on with their own prerogative, their own initiatives. And sometimes that means it's running counter to your privacy and your safety. So, if you do plan on protesting or speaking up or standing up for members of the Mesa community and the San Diego community, you should be aware of that. You should be safe, and it's okay to be afraid, but you shouldn't allow that to stop you from speaking up.
Yeah, I think people have the right to speak up and protest peacefully, and there's no reason for ICE to be targeting people who are just speaking their mind.
And yeah, so with that, as Bad Bunny said, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Be sure to stay informed and know your rights. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.